Stampers, Diane Dimich here with DDStamps.com, and today I'm here to introduce you to my November tutorial. It's so hard to believe that it's November. So for this tutorial, I have used the Merriest Moments bundle, and I kind of want to show you this bundle. I also did a live video on the last Saturday in October, and I will link it to this video so that you can watch that and get some tips and techniques on using this together. So this bundle comes with a stamp set, which is great. It's a great Christmas stamp set. I love those fonts in the sentiments. The sentiments are great for the holiday season. And then it has these dies that coordinate with the stamp set, but they also coordinate with the embossing folder, and they actually work together. So for instance, this embossing folder, you can use this die, and you can set it up in here. It kind of clicks in so it doesn't move. Put a piece of cardstock in there, run it through, and you will end up with an embossed and die cut piece similar to this. This is just using white cardstock. You can use any color cardstock. But if I ran this through with a piece of white cardstock, this is what I end up with. So it's really fun to use. Also, it has a detailed die. So if I cut out this detailed die, it looks like this. It's very flat. But then I can actually lay this inside. And I actually use this piece of die, this die, to kind of help me put my pieces in there. And if I close it up and run it through my embossing machine, I end up with, well, this is kind of similar. I end up with a piece that looks like this, and you can see how it has dimension to it. I also cut out the middle, so you can have the whole middle filled in with the green, or you can cut out the middle with this piece. And actually, if you wanted to, you can add this piece in there, and then this piece. And that will actually, when it runs through, it'll cut out that middle piece. I hope that makes sense. But it does the embossing. So it's a lot of fun to use. You can get a lot of different looks with it. Lots of fun pieces. And like I said, I do have a video that shows exactly what I did with how to do these various cuts. It's not hard. It's not really complicated. And they just turn out so beautiful that it's amazing. So that is the Merriest Moments bundle. I've used the Whimsical, I should have looked up the exact name, but the Whimsical paper for this. So I'm going with a totally different color palette. I'm using the Whimsical paper, and as you can see, it all has a metallic finish to it, which just adds a little pizzazz to your cards. So my color palette that I used, and I haven't used all of these I haven't used all of these colors in my cards. In fact, I'll show you which colors I actually used, but I just pulled them all out. Mossy Meadow, Crumb Cake, Mint Macaron, Polished Pink, Blushing Bride, and some Misty Moonlight. So those are the cardstock colors that I've used for my cards. These are them. And again, I don't have a full sheet of Misty Moonlight because I used it all. But so in your packet, you would get Misty Moonlight, Blushing Bride, Mint Macaron, Mossy Meadow, Crumb Cake, and White. Enough to make the cards that I did. I also used some of this great ribbon that's in the holiday catalog. It is the Frayed Grosgrain ribbon in Blushing Bride. I used some pearls, so those will come in your kit. And then I also did a technique with the blending brush that I'll show you. So let me pull the cards out so you can see what I'm talking about. And I'm going to just show them kind of in random order. I just pulled them out here. But here's the first card that I did. You can see where I embossed this right onto the card base. And then I added my stamping, and then I did my die cuts. And so my die cuts are done with Mint Macaron, Mossy Meadow. And then I used a technique with the flowers where I stamped them in the Blushing Bride, and then I sponged in a little bit of the Polished Pink right into the middle. I don't know if you can see that, but it just gives a little bit more dimension. Used a little Misty Moonlight on the flowers in there and added some pearls. Pretty simple once you get them all cut out. That video that I'm going to link into this also has a technique using the Stamparatus and the die cuts so that you can do a lot of die cuts and stamping it. It's efficient. It's efficient is what I could say. So this one, as you can see, this just has Crumb Cake, and I actually embossed the background, and then I put another piece over the top of it which is cut out and embossed. And I actually then added just some of the cutout presents from some of the paper, and this is where the sponging came in. And I just put a little bit of crumb cake around my edges, just to give it a little bit so that it was not so tone on tone. It had a little bit of dimension to it. Not much, but just a little bit. And I stamped with the crumb cake. Here's what I did with that same technique with the flowers. And then I added just a die cut piece over that silver paper, and it just makes it, and then put also the stitched die rectangle inside there with the stamping on it, so it kind of popped out a little bit. Here's one where I just used paper, the designer series paper, and I used that polished pink for my poinsettias, and added a banner with the season's greetings, a couple more pearls, and then I just did some random stamping in the background, and I just stamped it and then added those poinsettias on top. Here's probably the easiest one I did, and it really showcases that paper, the metallic paper. And I did a little white embossing on that one, and this is just the rectangle die that's in that die set, and added a little bit of ribbon. And then the last card that I have is a Blushing Bride, and this really is a monochromatic card, so those always look good. So I used the metallic paper in the background, that's that whimsical paper. I punched out the detailed die, and then I ran it through the embossing, and then I also ran through and did a rectangle in the same color, just to give it a little tone on tone. White embossing, and then I just added some white flowers on there that are just die cuts, and again some of those pearls. So my cards this month are all obviously holiday, using a different color scheme than Christmas. And like I said, I'm going to link the video in there for the techniques that I used in my Saturday live class using that same stamp set. It has lots of different tips for you in there. So just so you're aware, anybody that places an order with me gets the tutorial for free. Anybody that places an order over $50 not only gets the tutorial for free, but then they'll also get a packet of supplies to make all the cards. So what will come in that is the designer series paper, the ribbon, some some pearls, and the cardstock to make these 6 cards. I don't supply the stamping. That's where you come in. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. If you ever have any questions, feel free to contact me. You can also sign up for my newsletter at www.DDStamps.com, where I send out weekly newsletters with tips, tricks, and ideas, techniques, a little something for everybody. So thank you, and I hope you have a great month. Bye.